Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Election day just keeps creeping closer and I'm not sure if I'm getting more excited or nervous. What I am sure about though is that I am currently working on an extremely comprehensive presidential election night video for you guys that I'll most likely upload the weekend before election day. It's gonna be big and I hope you are all excited for that. But anyways, let's get started with today's video. I'm actually going to split it into two separate parts, with part 2 coming out tomorrow. But in these two videos, we will be analyzing which 3 swing states or battleground states, however you want to call them, are most crucial for each candidate to focus most of their time and resources on before election day. Today though, we're going to talk about Democratic nominee Joe Biden. At this stage of the cycle, over 30 million people have already cast their ballots. But there is a consensus expectation that this election will break all turnout records on both sides. 138 million people voted in the 2016 general election, which was the highest ever. But we are expecting somewhere between 150 and 160 million ballots being cast before November 3rd this year, which is absolutely ridiculous, but at the same time, not surprising whatsoever. That being said, the race is coming down to just a few states that have different levels of importance for both campaigns. On screen here is a basic battleground map, and Joe Biden holds 212 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 126. As you can see from this tally already, Biden has a significant advantage when it comes to safe states. However, the rest of the map is not as welcoming. Of the 13 states still in gray, only 3 went blue in 2016, those being Nevada, Minnesota, and New Hampshire. Every single other state still in gray went to Donald Trump by varying margins. But which 3 of these states should the Biden campaign specifically focus their attention on? The first is an obvious one, and it's a state that he has already been spending most of his resources on, including tons of rallies over the last 2 weeks. And that state is Pennsylvania. With its 20 electoral votes that Barack Obama carried by 10 points in 2008 and 5 points in 2012. Then in 2016, Trump defeated Clinton by 0.7 points and a total of 44,000 votes, which is the lowest margin of victory by percentage for any presidential candidate there in American history. So it makes a ton of sense why the Biden campaign sees this as a must-win state. And according to 538's polling average, he leads by 6.5 points. And according to Real Clear Politics' polling average, he leads by 4.5 points. And while these are both very convincing leads, it is worth noting that Hillary Clinton held a 2-point lead going into Election Day before she lost. That being said, Joe Biden does have a better favorability among white working-class voters than she ever did, and he has formed his entire campaign strategy around winning back disillusioned Trump voters across the Rust Belt. It's a formula that appears to be working, at least on paper, across the board. But saying that, there is a state outside of the Rust Belt that I see in equal importance for him and the Democratic Party as a whole, and that is Arizona. The socio-demographics of these two states are very different, if not complete opposites. And the state of Arizona presses a whole new challenge on the Biden campaign's quest for 270. Specifically, Latinos are a voting bloc that have surprisingly shifted towards Trump since 2016, and Arizona is the 5th most Hispanic state in the entire country. So with that in mind, Joe Biden's performance will not only be important for his 2020 chances, but also for the Democratic Party's future chances in the Sun Belt. Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Georgia, North Carolina, and Florida all represent the future path to the White House for Democratic presidential candidates purely based off of demographics. So if this year's Democratic nominee sees a significant drop in Latino support in the Grand Canyon state, it could spell signs of trouble for his party's electoral chances in the future. Having said that though, and looking purely at 2020, Arizona also has the 12th oldest population in the US. which is a demographic actually shifting towards Biden since 2016. So if it does end up being the case that he loses a few points among Latino voters, he should be able to win those points back and then some with voters aged 65 and older. You also just cannot talk about Arizona electoral politics without bringing up Maricopa County, which covers the entire Phoenix metropolitan area and holds over half of the entire state's population. It was the largest county in the country that voted for Trump in 2016. And it's the fastest growing county in the US for the third straight year as well. But looking back at the 2018 midterms, victorious Democratic Senate candidate Kyrsten Sinema flipped the county as it shifted a full 7 points into her direction from 2016. As for 2020, Joe Biden currently leads by almost 4 points statewide, according to both 538 and Real Clear Politics. If that were to hold true, it would almost double Kyrsten Sinema's 2018 statewide victory and would mean that Biden wins Maricopa County by upwards of 5 points. And finally, he should also stand to benefit from the notoriously unpopular Republican incumbent Senator Martha McSally running for re-election against Democrat Mark Kelly, the unrelenting and record-high fundraising astronaut who looks certain to flip that seat. Shifting back to a national perspective though, with wins in Pennsylvania and Arizona, Biden would hold 243 electoral votes. Then if we add the 2016 Hillary Clinton states, Nevada, Minnesota, and New Hampshire, his total rises up to 263 electoral votes, 7 away from the victory. So the fact is that he actually does not need to go after the long shot states of Texas, Florida, North Carolina, Ohio, or Iowa. All he needs to do is hold down the fort in either Wisconsin or Michigan. And honestly, I believe that his best chance is in the state of Michigan. He's currently up 8 points there according to 538 and 7 according to RCP, both of which are significantly higher than Hillary Clinton's 3.5 point lead in 2016. Also, President Trump only won by 11,000 votes as well. 11,000. Let me say that again. 11,000 votes. Of almost 5 million ballots cast statewide, 11,000 made the difference. For perspective, that is about a fourth of the attendance of most sold-out sporting events. Now, who knows what could have swayed 11,000 voters in 2016? But I strongly believe that if it weren't for the Comey letter a week before the election, we would be talking about Michigan going blue in 2020 for the 8th straight presidential election. And I don't think anybody looking at it objectively could stand to argue that either. Michigan has been, since the outset of this cycle, the most flippable state for the Democrats, and I still see it that way. However, with that victory, Joe Biden would hold 279 electoral votes, which means that Trump could hypothetically sweep every single one of these states and still lose the election with 259 votes. Obviously, that would be a lot closer than polls and forecasts have suggested. But at the end of the day, a win is a win if you're the Biden campaign, and I assume most of his supporters would agree. The only issue I see with a race this close electorally is that President Trump will probably fight the results for as long as he possibly can and not succeed until at least he is certain that he has lost. And so the closer it is, the easier it is for him to do that, and the longer it will take to officially certify results and declare a winner. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below though. Are you excited or nervous for this election? And does a race this close concern you at all? If so, why? What do you think will happen? But that does it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to like it down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, check out more content from my channel here. Thank you all so much for watching and tune in next time. EP out.